My name is Scott Blackmun, and I'm the CEO of the United States Olympic Committee.
And Scott, you're based in Colorado these days.
We've been headquartered in Colorado Springs since 1978. We occupy an old Air Force base that the federal government gave to the city, and the city made available to us.
Obviously, your main concern is preparing athletes for the Olympics. In terms of youth sports, how is the connection with USOC and youth sports in terms of what you guys do?
You know, the USOC on a standalone basis is focused on high performance, just because we can't be all things to all people. But if you look at what we do as a bigger U.S. Olympic family, we have 47 national governing bodies, one for each sport, and we also have multi-sport organizations that are members of the United States Olympic Committee. And it's really them, through their community-based programs, that are the ones touching the kids on a day-to-day basis. Now, you know, we do have programs that I think are very supportive of their efforts. Off the top of my head, for the first time ever, we have a chief diversity officer whose job it is to really help the NGBs find more diverse populations, not only at the administrative level, but in their sport pipeline. So they're working really hard to identify target audiences so that they can achieve more diversity. The other is a safe sport program, which we launched a few years ago, and it's so important. I mean, the correlation between studying and working out and participating in sports is such a positive, strong correlation, but it has to be cultivated and it has to be supported, and we have to make sure that the kids are competing in really safe environments. So even though we're focused primarily on high performance, in the area of safe sport, the USOC is getting directly involved and trying to make sure that the national governing bodies and the multi-sport organizations are making sure that the kids are in good environments when they're playing.
I mean, the Olympic sports, I mean, there's gymnasts who are 14, 15, 16 years old. There's equestrians who are in their 50s. How does somebody like a USOC, that body, how do you look at a youth sports? What is that to your, in terms of the growth of the USOC?
Well, it's our pipeline, and the stronger our pipeline is at the bottom, the more kids that we have participating, the better we're going to be in 10 years, 20 years, when those kids are at ages where they can compete as elite athletes. So for us, we're extremely concerned about the statistics that we see about youth activity levels, youth obesity levels. And this is an issue not just in America, but around the world. I met with the Australian Olympic Committee yesterday. They have exactly the same issue. So the work that Tom Ferry is doing with the Aspen Institute is so important to really get kids out there playing again, not competing necessarily. I mean, I think the ideas of 10 and under and 8 and under national championships are crazy. We've got to get the kids out there having fun, competing, and learning not just about sports, but about life, and using sports as a platform for doing that.
You mentioned the Aspen Institute. Can you expound a little bit on that and what that connection is these days?
The Aspen Institute is running a program now about youth sports and youth activity levels, and it's being overseen by Tom Ferry, the ESPN reporter. They've convened 2 or 3 different sessions to really focus on how do we create that safe environment, that strong environment. How do we encourage kids to get involved in sports, and what's the best system? So I give them a lot of credit for focusing our attention on this issue, because what we're finding is less and less kids are participating in sports and staying active on a day-to-day basis, and we need to change that, or it will impact us, you know, on the medal stand in 20 years.
You mentioned the medal stand. What is the aspirational impact of Olympians to youth?
You know, our mission is to enable U.S. Olympic and Paralympic athletes to be the best that they can be. And through their great performances, through their victories, and sometimes their defeats, they really do inspire Americans to be the best that they can be. So whether you're competing at this level or down here, you know, the life lesson that we think the Olympics is so good at teaching is that just be the best that you can be. And if you can do that, the rest will take care of itself. Again, whether you're the #1 athlete in the world or the last athlete in the world, as long as you're the best that you can be, sport has served its purpose.